Yes.
This is going to be a demo of Deanne's Kino Flo Diva Light 400 and stand kit. So this is a set of fluorescent lights that have a 3200 or warm color temperature in it to match incandescent lights. And these lights will provide a reasonably soft light by default and come with a stand so you can set it up and have a little bit of functionality in terms of dimming as well as control of the lights. Inside the box is the actual light fixture itself with a ballast pre-attached to the back of it, as well as a small light stand that can support the light and doing it. I'm just going to set up this light stand quickly first by flipping these all around and then putting it on the ground, making sure that the legs are wide enough so that it will be sturdy. Also, it's best practice to use a sandbag on any light like these just to reduce the chance of it tipping by making sure there's extra weight on it. Now let's take a look at the light. I'm gonna mount this on the stand first so we can hold it, get a better feel for it. This mount here plugs into the stand and then can be tightened to make sure it's held in place. And then for positioning, you can unscrew the ball, tilt it however you want, and then tighten it in place. And you can pull the stand out if you need to move it back because it gets caught in the way. I'm gonna make sure I put this cord somewhere hanging off it so there's no extra strain or tension on this cord. And then make sure it's set to off and then plug it into the wall so that it can be turned on. Taking a look at the light, on the back of the light, first of all, there is a switch here that changes from using all 4 bulbs to only using 2 bulbs, as I will show in a second. And on this side of the light is a dimmer that can be used to dim the lights or control the output of the lights. Taking a look at the front of the fixture again, there's 2 barn doors effectively that can be opened or tilted to control the amount of area that is being lit by the light. This reflective panel here works kind of like a grid or an egg crate to control the spread. So by default, this will be a somewhat soft light that has a relatively narrow spread, as we're going to take a look right now as I'm going to flip the light on. Fluorescent lights often take a little bit of time to get fully up to full output. So these bulbs are not quite at the full output, so they'll get a little bit brighter in a second or two. Just to demo that switch, if I flip it, I can see that now there's only 2 of the bulbs running, compared to flipping it the other way, all 4 will be running for more output. Sometimes this is a little finicky and you have to make sure it's actually sitting in quite the right space. Taking a look at the wall, I can see the pattern of the light and see where the cutoff to the egg crate is. So right now it's about here where the light gets cut off. And if I want to control it vertically, I can close these doors up to control how much spread this light has. And just as a quick example, the dimmer dims the lights, but unlike LEDs that dim perfectly, these lights don't like running at super low outputs, especially since they're a little bit cold, so they will kind of turn pinkish if I dim them too much. These lights are nice for a variety of uses like interviews, and have the big advantage over incandescents of they don't get that hot. So most of the time you can get away with not using gloves, and it's nowhere near as hot as something like an RE tungsten Fresnel kit. When I'm done using it, I'm gonna turn it off, make sure it's not too hot, place it in the box, and package it away like the light came. If you don't want the grid on this light, you can slide it to the side or slightly push these up to pull the grid off. Looks like this grid's gotten a little mangled by the heat over the years. And this will have a much wider spread as there's no egg crate that controls the spread of the light. So if I turn it on, for example, I can see that the light easily goes and covers this wall over here. But if I place this in front of the light, it much controls the spread on the outside, but the middle light output is roughly the same. So this can be a nice tool to control the amount of light there.